Sometimes life can be so hard, and I think that's why I write songs, just to get the emotions out, you know, just get them out there on the paper so that they're separate from me. And I also love to just take these walks in the nature, kind of clear my head. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's always good to look at the beauty and try to see the world in a different perspective. Childhood. So, needless to say that when the idea of going to college, I always wanted to go somewhere else. So, I moved out to LA from Pennsylvania to come to school and started going to music school, and I loved it. It was where I was supposed to be. Like, I was learning so much, having an awesome time, and then just things happened. It was winter break, and the school was still open, so I was just going to practice, and I just went to my car after I was done for the day, and I was just putting stuff in my car, and then this guy just comes out and pulls a gun on me, and just some crazy guy on drugs and wanted money for drugs. And since I didn't have any money in my wallet, like $15 to my name, he forced me to drive to my house, and he raped me. And the whole time I was just praying that I would get out alive. Like, it didn't matter what he did to me, as long as I could just survive. And it just went on, and the next day, it was like as soon as it started, it was over. He just let me go. And it wasn't until then, till just the shock of it all started I was able to realize it, and I couldn't believe that it was actually over, but I couldn't believe it happened. Your whole life, you're just trained to think that the police are your friends. The police are there for you. The police are the ones to ride in and save the day. And I learned that that's all a lie. They immediately accused my friends of being on drugs, accusing me of being on drugs. They told me that they knew I was lying, and that he personally would make sure that I would be sent to jail with all women so I could be raped by women in jail. The cop didn't believe me at all. And I think just that was even more shocking than the shock of being raped, because the people who you think are supposed to protect you were more like enemies. So the days following were, I guess, the dark days, where you would be on so many medications that you would sleep all day and throw up in between and have flashbacks, and you had to constantly be meeting with police, making sketches, just trying to put it together. And eventually had to go to a pre-trial, and had to be there in the room again with this person. And I think that was probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. It was much worse then because of how you had to relive it. And after all of that, they only got 2 years in jail. And it was just so upsetting on so many levels. Whether it's not just about me, it's about what about other women that are out there? This person actually shot somebody on the day that he held me up. I think this is why I hate guns so much, because it gives weak people power that they wouldn't normally have. How I got through it all was one day, picked up a guitar and pen and paper and just started writing stuff. And through that, I was able to just get it out there. And then I could be objective about it. It didn't feel so personal. Well, it's in here, it's just a bunch of jumbled up emotions, and in here, but when it's out there, it's something totally different. When I sing these songs, they still cut me right to the heart. But I can sing them because it's separate from who I am. It's not me anymore. It's who I was at that moment. So many times I'm just left to my thoughts, and that's why I have to come up here and just try to sort them all out and let them go just now as the wind is blowing. Try to let some of it blow away and other parts of it hang on to for another day, I guess. Because I've learned that you never truly forget things. Time lessens them and helps them seem dimmer. But they're always there. And you just try not to let these things come to the front of your brain. Try to bury them deep down in the corner of your brain for the moments if you ever need them again. Yeah. For those times when you need them. So about a year later, when I had regained my mental health, I lost my physical health. I ate at a diner and I got parasites, which caused chronic infections in my belly and in my lungs and my throat. But the hardest part about it for me has been singing when it always feels like you have a cold. You know, there's always stuff in your throat and you always feel sick. I've taken over 20 medications. I've been to so many doctors that just tell me to deal with it, which is easy for them to say when they're not singers and they're not the ones that have to deal with it. So the last few years, I've decided to take things into my own hands and find natural cures for all my health issues. One of the things I have to do to help improve my health is make these raw juices, and sometimes I just make them for breakfast and other times I do juice fasts. I got, this one's our green juice. The first thing I put in there is kale, and then we have some spinach. The kale and spinach is where I like a lot of the good stuff is, but it doesn't taste very good by itself. And these are what makes it sweet. Gives it a little something that you can actually get it down, because otherwise it tastes so nasty. Cheers. It's not great, but it's definitely not the worst thing I've ever had. So going through this has made me realize what is important in life and what is meaningless. I long for the days that I have peace in my mind and health in my body again. But until then, I remain a cockeyed optimist and look towards the future with hopeful eyes.